Here's the punchline no one wants to hear. Life-changing habits aren't the dramatic ones. Habits that actually transform your life are the painfully ordinary ones, the ones so boring your brain refuses to take them seriously. Laying out tomorrow's clothes the night before. You know that person who somehow glides through their mornings like they're in a detergent commercial? No frantic sock hunt. No, why is this shirt attacking me? Meltdown. No sudden identity crisis at 7:12 a.m. Their secret is stupidly simple. They pick their clothes the night before. Yeah, that's it. The most aggressively boring habit known to humanity. But here's why it works. Your morning brain is basically a potato. Neuroscience calls it decision fatigue. But let's be honest, your pre-coffee self should not be trusted with choices. Every tiny decision drains mental energy, and choosing an outfit seems small until you're 15 minutes deep into arguing with your own closet. When you choose clothes the night before, you're using your evening brain, the one that still has functioning neurons, to set up your less competent morning self for success. It's the behavioral equivalent of leaving breadcrumbs for future you so they don't wander into existential chaos before breakfast. And the ripple effects are weirdly huge. Fewer decisions early on means more willpower later. It means you actually eat the breakfast you planned instead of inhaling whatever's closest. It means you leave on time, not in a flustered sprint that ruins the entire day's vibe. Research on implementation intentions shows that pre-deciding tiny actions massively boosts follow-through, even boring ones like outfit planning. Your brain loves predictability more than you love pretending you're spontaneous. Taking actual breaks. Here's the plot twist nobody wants to hear. Your breaks aren't actually breaks. Scrolling isn't a break. Watching YouTube isn't a break. Checking messages, reorganizing tabs, doom shopping, doom scrolling, doom everything. None of that counts. That's just swapping one form of cognitive load for another while telling yourself, wow, I'm really resting right now. Sure you are, champ. Real breaks are offensively boring. They look like staring out a window, taking 3 deep breaths, walking to the kitchen without your phone like some sort of Victorian ghost. And your brain loves it, because when nothing is happening, your neural circuits finally get a minute to file away thoughts, regulate stress, and stop running like a browser with 87 tabs open, which, let's be honest, is just your personality at this point. There's actual research behind this. Studies on attention restoration show that true mental downtime, the kind without stimulation, resets focus and reduces burnout. Meanwhile, every fake break you take is just pumping more input into an already overwhelmed system. It's like trying to fix an overheated laptop by opening 3 more programs. People who take real breaks don't become lazy. They become strangely calm and productive. You know the type. Peaceful, hydrated, borderline suspicious. They're not superhuman. They just let their brain idle for 5 minutes without asking it to entertain them. Same breakfast. Some people eat the same breakfast every single day and somehow aren't bored, depressed, or dead inside. Oatmeal, eggs, yogurt, like clockwork. And the rest of us look at them like, wow, do you enjoy having no personality? But here's the twist. They're actually playing 4D chess with their brain while we're standing in front of the fridge every morning, like it's an escape room. The science here is painfully straightforward. Every decision you make burns mental energy. Psychologists call it decision fatigue, but I call it why I stare at minor choices like they're moral dilemmas. When you automate breakfast, you're deleting one of the first decisions of the day, which saves your brain power for things that aren't toast-related. And the best part? Consistency trains your body, too. Your metabolism stabilizes. Your hunger signals become predictable. Your morning routine stops feeling like a chaotic negotiation between you and your digestive system. Successful people love this stuff because it creates mental runway. They're not wasting brain cycles on whether to eat cereal or last night's cold pizza. They're already onto the real work, keeping a later list. Your brain has one main hobby, interrupting you with absolutely useless ideas at the worst possible time. You sit down to work and suddenly your mind is like, hey, what if we learn pottery? Or text your ex just to check in. It's chaos, pure neurological mischief. And most people either chase the distraction or waste energy wrestling it back into the void. Enter the later list, the dullest, most productivity-saving invention since the paperclip. It's exactly what it sounds like, a place to dump every random thought, impulse, idea, craving, side quest, and existential itch the moment it pops up. You don't act on it. You don't argue with it. You just write it down like you're sending it to daycare. Here's the psychology. When you record a thought, your brain stops holding it in active memory. This is called cognitive offloading, and it frees up mental bandwidth faster than closing 27 background apps. Suddenly, you're focused again, not because you resisted temptation, but because you outsourced your wandering brain to a sticky note. Doing a 5-minute stretch before bed. Most people treat bedtime like a chaotic crash landing. 1 minute, you're scrolling through your phone like it's an Olympic sport, and the next, you're face planted on a pillow wondering why your spine feels like a stack of old Jenga blocks. Meanwhile, quietly living their best life, there's that one person who stretches for 5 minutes before bed. 5. Not a yoga class, not candlelit meditation, just limbs moving in ways the human body is technically supposed to. And here's the thing, it works, because your muscles have been clenching all day like they're auditioning for a stress documentary. A little stretching signals your nervous system to downshift, literally turning off the inner chihuahua energy and switching into parasympathetic mode. The calm one your body forgets exists. Studies on pre-sleep routines show that gentle stretching reduces tension, lowers heart rate, and helps you fall asleep faster. Basically, it tells your brain, hey buddy, the day is over. Stop filing complaints. Plus, future you wakes up feeling 10% less like a gremlin. Your back complains less. Your neck doesn't do that crunchy thing. Even your morning mood improves because your body isn't greeting you with a cease and desist letter the moment you stand up. Reading before bed. Reading before bed is one of those habits that seems way too wholesome to matter. It's got teacher energy. It feels like something adults pretend to do while actually falling asleep with a book on their face. Meanwhile, the rest of us are out here staring into a blinding rectangle, absorbing 14 conspiracy theories, 3 tragedies, and one guy's hot take about oat milk, all before midnight. And then we wonder why our brain refuses to power down. Here's the sciencey betrayal. Your phone is the worst possible bedtime companion. The blue light messes with melatonin. The endless content keeps your brain hyperstimulated, and the emotional whiplash of scrolling creates the psychological equivalent of drinking espresso in a haunted house. Reading, on the other hand, gently nudges your nervous system into, oh, we're winding down now mode. Even fiction lowers stress levels. Studies show reading can reduce physiological stress by up to 68%. That's basically a weighted blanket for your neurons. And no, the book doesn't have to be profound. It can be a thriller, a biography, or that random self-help book you bought during your new chapter era. The point is that it slows your thoughts instead of launching them into the algorithm's chaos carnival. 10-minute tidy. The 10-minute tidy is the habit people love to dismiss because it sounds like something invented by a kindergarten teacher who's way too enthusiastic about laminated charts. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The people whose homes always look mysteriously clean aren't spending their weekends scrubbing like Victorian chimney sweeps. They're doing 10 quiet, boring minutes a day. And it adds up faster than your pile of clothes that aren't dirty but aren't clean. Here's how it works. You set a timer for 10 minutes. You don't deep clean. You don't reorganize your sock drawer alphabetically. You just pick up whatever small mess is in front of you. Dishes, counters, rogue water bottles. That one chair that's become a clothing graveyard. 10 minutes. Then you stop. The magic isn't the cleaning, it's the maintenance. You're interrupting the slow creep of chaos before it becomes a full-scale archaeological dig. Behavioral psychology loves this kind of system. It's small enough that your brain doesn't rebel. Sure, I can do 10 minutes. And it creates a feedback loop of immediate reward, a visible improvement that tricks your brain into believing you're an organized adult. Over time, your space stops looking like a before photo from a cleaning show. And a cleaner environment means less stress, clearer thinking, and fewer existential sighs triggered by your own living room. Meal prepping Sunday. Meal prepping on Sunday is the ultimate I have my life together illusion. From the outside, it looks like someone peacefully portioning quinoa while soft music plays in the background. In reality, it's 2 hours of chopping, mixing, roasting, and contemplating why vegetables take so long to cook. But here's why the boring people who do it are always calmer than the rest of us. They've eliminated the daily 6 p.m. panic spiral. Most people treat dinner like a pop quiz. You open the fridge, hoping destiny left you something edible, then end up panic ordering takeout or eating cereal for the 3rd night in a row. Meanwhile, the Sunday meal preppers glide through the week with Tupperware confidence. They already decided once. Their future selves just show up and press reheat. Psychologically, this is brilliant. Decision scientists call it reducing choice load. You remove repeated decisions by making one larger decision ahead of time. It's the same logic behind uniforms, routines, and why billionaires wear the same clothes daily. Except here, you save money, reduce stress, and accidentally become the person who brings lunch to work like an adult. Walking after meals. Walking after meals is one of those habits that sounds like a doctor's suggestion no one actually follows. Most people finish eating and immediately transform into a decorative couch pillow. Food coma becomes the personality for the next 3 hours. Meanwhile, there's that suspiciously energetic person who stands up after eating and casually says, "I'm going for a quick walk." And everyone else looks at them like they just announced they enjoy doing taxes for fun. But here's the science twist. A 10-minute walk after eating is absurdly effective. It helps regulate blood sugar, improves digestion, and keeps your energy stable instead of tanking like your Wi-Fi during a storm. Your muscles act like little glucose vacuums, reducing the post-meal spike that makes you feel like you swallowed a brick. Studies even show this tiny walk can outperform longer workouts done at random times of day. It's the ultimate minimum effort, maximum payoff move. And the best part? You don't need workout clothes. You don't need a gym. You don't need motivation. You just need legs and a sidewalk. Same bedtime. Most people treat their sleep schedule like a chaotic group project with no leader. Monday, asleep by 10. Friday, who needs circadian rhythms? Saturday, up until 3 a.m., watching documentaries about octopus intelligence for no reason. Then Sunday hits and everyone wonders why their brain is operating on 4% battery and bad decisions. Meanwhile, the boring people, the ones who function like actual mammals, go to bed at the same time every night. Yes, even weekends. Yes, even when Netflix drops a new season. They treat bedtime like it's a non-negotiable ritual. And their payoff? Their bodies know what's happening. Their circadian rhythm becomes a predictable, drama-free system instead of a confused intern trying to guess the assignment. They fall asleep faster, wake up easier, and don't need 3 alarms plus a prayer just to become semi-conscious. Their hormones regulate more smoothly. Their mood stabilizes. Their energy stops behaving like a malfunctioning roller coaster. Sleep researchers have been screaming this for decades. Consistency beats quantity. A stable sleep-wake cycle is like giving your brain a map instead of throwing it into the wilderness with vibes and hope. Make your bed. Making your bed is the habit people love to roast because it sounds like something your mom yelled at you about in 2008. Why bother? I'm just going to mess it up again. Congratulations. That's the same logic people use right before their life falls apart in slow motion. Here's the psychology. Your brain loves completion. It gets a micro hit of accomplishment from finishing even the smallest task. When you make your bed first thing, you're telling your brain, we do things. We finish things. We're competent today. It's basically warm-up reps for your self-discipline. And the ripple effect is wild. You come home after a brutal day, and instead of your room greeting you like a crime scene, there's at least one thing in order. 1 square foot of your life that isn't falling apart. That tiny cue reduces stress more than the dramatic mood lighting influencers swear by. Even Navy Force preach this habit, not because they're obsessed with blanket geometry, but because small, consistent disciplines build bigger ones. It's not about the bed, it's about the identity you're reinforcing. I'm someone who takes care of things. That's how habits compound. In tiny actions you repeat even when nobody's watching. Drinking water. Drinking water first thing in the morning is the most aggressively boring habit on this entire list. No one has ever bragged, yeah, bro, I crushed my hydration goals today. But the people who do it? They're walking around with suspicious levels of energy, clear skin, and 0 headaches, like they've unlocked some cheat code the rest of us refuse to acknowledge. Here's the inconvenient truth. Your body just spent 7 to 9 hours dehydrating itself like it's trying to become an emotional jerky. Your brain literally shrinks slightly from lack of water, which explains why morning you feels like a dial-up computer that forgot how to load basic functions. Then we roll out of bed and immediately ask our shriveled brain pan to process caffeine, emails, notifications, and decisions before giving it the one thing it actually needs: water. Rehydrating first thing flips the switch back on. Your blood volume increases, your digestion wakes up, your metabolism turns back online, and your brain stops acting like it's trapped inside a sponge. Studies on hydration show even mild dehydration tanks mood, focus, and physical performance. And the wildest part? It takes 10 seconds. Just drink the water. No app, no habit tracker, no spiritual awakening required. And if this list made you rethink your entire personality, good news. The next video dives into habits that are even stranger, and somehow even more effective.